What's up, guys? It's Monday the 13th, which is not scary like Friday the 13th. And you can see I posted one thing on Classroom about the picture day. Make sure you pay attention because it's not the same as it was. I also posted an assignment for CodeHS. This is the last one of the quarter, and I'm assigning it now, which means we have a little bit of time. I think I have the calendar somewhere. Yeah. Would somebody get the door? We have 3 weeks, okay? 3 weeks before the end of the quarter. And I'm going to assign stuff this week and then let it go. If you start this stuff this week, that's cool. If you start it next week because you're still working on the previous thing, that's okay. But it's all going to be there. Now, by the way, I don't know if you noticed last year, but there was a thing where some people had a low grade in quarter one and we bumped it up to 50 to give them a chance in quarter two. We're not doing that this time. So if you have a low grade in quarter one, we got to fix it ourselves and not just get the magic points. Now we have time to do that. I posted this one guy, and I'm going to post one project later this week that we can work on. And that's it. So let me go over an example of something I wanted to show. Not this, but this. Okay, in Unit 5, the looping one, which a lot of you guys are still on, which is fine. There's one exercise called rolling dice. And I thought it was a good one. Because A, it shows the stuff you need to know for Unit 5, and B, it shows stuff you need to know for the deck of cards project, which a lot of you are working on as well. So it says, write a program that will print out all combinations with 2 dice. You're not doing it randomly. You're doing just laying them out. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, etc. Which, by the way, they say combinations, but I think the math term would be permutations, right? And just show all of them. That means 6 for the first guy, 6 for the second guy, 36 total. Okay. How would you do that? We're going to make a line that says print, and then I'm going to make up some variables that we'll use later. Die 1 plus die 2. Okay? If you are ahead of the game and you're thinking about it, you might realize these should probably have str since they're going to be numbers. And if you go back and add that later, that's fine. You might notice that I'm doing this quote-unquote backwards, but that's often the right way to think of it. If you sort of go inside out, you think, what are we doing in this program? We're printing. And there's only going to be one print line, even though we're printing 36 different things. And then we're going to wrap around it and say what's going to need to be encapsulating this. So I'm going to need to do 2 loops, meaning you go from one die and sort of lock it in like it's got the 1 for all these, and it goes through all the possibilities for the second one, and then it's got the 2 and all the possibilities for the second one. So I'm going to say one loop inside of another loop, and then I'm going to indent to make them, well, to make them work at all. And if I do this, it's so close to being perfect. It's almost there. The only issue when I hit run is it's going to go 0 to 5 instead of 1 to 6. So that's because of the range. The range function starts at 0. Everything starts at 0 if you're doing like the index of a list, like the first thing in a list is the 0th thing instead of the 1. So we could say +1 inside of these guys, but I would rather change the range, and I'm going to go 1, 7, because remember it doesn't include the last guy. So this prints, oh, I don't want to say of, I was thinking of the deck of cards thing. I want to say a comma. I want to say it like this. Okay, and when I hit check code, it's going to work and it's going to like it. This is 36 lines, all the possible combos of 2 dice. Now, if you are thinking about the deck of cards project, this is very similar, right? You're going 2 loops, one inside the other, and instead of a die and another die, you're having the suit and the rank of your cards. But I wanted to point that out because if you're still on Unit 5, here's help on that one. And if you're still on the deck of cards thing, here's another sort of angle to look at it of combining 2 things to get your final presentable result here. Now the deck of cards is a little different because it uses some words. Instead of numbers, you have clubs, spades, hearts, and diamonds. And you have some of the cards have a name that's a number, like a 5, and other cards have a name that's a word, like the jack or whatever. But we can get to that after we write the basic core structure here. Anyway, a lot of people have turned in the deck of cards, or some have even been graded already, and I'll look at more today. If you're working on Unit 5, that's fine. If you're working on the deck of cards, that's fine. If you happen to be done with those and you look at Unit 6, cool, but don't be worried if you're not. Okay. Later this week, I'll post one more project. It's sort of our final project, although it's not that huge, that uses functions, which we'll learn in Unit 6. Okay, we've already seen functions like print and range and stuff like that, but you can make your own and then call them up. Very useful. And it's different from loops because when you're doing a loop, you stop everything else and go through a certain thing as many times as you need. But when you make a function, you might go through some lines, then do other stuff, then come back to your lines of code. So it's harder to do that in a loop, but it's easy to do that with a function. So that's the plan. I'll end this video now and keep it short. And today, you can work on that stuff. You can ask questions. I can grade some stuff, and we'll make some progress. Thanks.